Okay, so welcome to Unlock Your Hidden Potential. So today's masterclass, what I want to cover for you today is an understanding of shadow work and its importance. Talking about what those shadow aspects are so that you can identify them for yourself. And I'll talk about some of the things that I've experienced throughout my time. This is the first time I've really done a masterclass on shadow work. I've been doing a lot of learning over the last few years when I've been going through it myself. And it's been really, I was going to say eye-opening. I think that's underestimating actually the impact that it's had. So, that's why I wanted to go through this with you. I've got, as you always know, on all of my trainings, I go through and do an exercise with you that will help you in doing this. Today is a guided visualization, but it's a slightly different one. I don't know whether you've all got the workbook that I sent out. If you haven't, go into the group. Yay, well done, Jane, top marks. And then you'll be able to take notes in that, or you can just generally take notes. We'll be exploring the methods for emotional release, but also integration. Now, I know quite a lot of you know me well already, Jane. I was talking to you on coaching this morning, wasn't I, about release? And Annetta has done a beautiful live for us in our group about how she's recently gone through a release as well. So that's a really important thing. But what I also want to talk about is the integration, because it's also about acceptance and acknowledgement and allowing yourself to be whole. Okay, so that's a really important element of shadow work, and it's something that I've integrated in my mindset work as well, and the inner work that I do. And then how you can take what I give you forward to get incredible results. So I have got something that I'm going to talk to you about at the end. If you want to take this further, it might not be for everybody, okay? And I'll talk about whether it's right for you or not, because shadow work is something that you have to have the right mindset, I suppose, to do it, and have the right support to do it. So it's whether you think that I'm the right support for you, whether this is the right thing to do for you. One thing I would say is one of the challenges that I've had in my learning for shadow work is there's very little, there's very few courses out there to touch on this subject. There's a lot of talk and not a lot of walk. So that's why it's been so important for me to bring this to you, because I know how important it has been for me. Now, I've mentioned that I know quite a lot of you, but there are a few of you that I don't know. It's lovely to see some new faces. So, I'm not even, those that don't know me, you'll get to know the fact that I've got notes, but the notes are to try and keep me on track, because I'm forever going off and telling you more and trying to fit it all in. But this is a bit about me. So that's my family. My fur baby, for once, is actually sat quietly down there, so we won't kind of prod him or anything, because normally he's biting my hair or trying to attack me from the back. Everybody laughs at me on coaching sessions because I'm like, get off. But he is less than a year old, so we'll let him off for that. I've got two lovely kids and a very useful husband, because he gets you hearing me. My background, though, is in working in corporate HR for NASDAQ and FTSE 100 organizations. And you see the picture of the Shard there. I actually worked in the building that was before the Shard. I had my own office on the 16th floor overlooking the London Eye. So that was one of the places I used to work. But growing up, I was going to be in the airlines. My parents were both cabin crew. My aunt was a cabin crew, but I was told, and this is an interesting concept actually to just be aware of, I was always told that it's too much like hard work being cabin crew, running after people. You want to be sat up front, flying the plane, and sitting on your backside, not having to, but earning lots more money. And there was a very much a them and us attitude throughout my life. So that's played into my shadow, which I'll talk a bit about later. But yeah, the shadow work side of things has really opened the door for me. For me, my pivotal moments, we all have them. Sometimes there can be a catalogue. For me, 2011 was a real pivotal moment for me, because in the month of August, late August, the end of August, I lost my beautiful aunt, who I was incredibly close to. We lived together for much of my childhood. And she was like my big sister. She was like my naughty sister. She used to get me into so much trouble. And but I lost her sadly to cancer, and within a month I became a mum for the first time. So my daughter Tilly is named after her, actually. And it really made me look at what I was doing. If anybody knows this area, I used to travel on the Hog's Back, which is an amazing road. It's got the most beautiful views, which I used to look at quite a lot in traffic jams in the morning, and while someone else was looking after my child. And that's not what I wanted to do. As much as I love childminders, Jane, I wanted to look after my own child. So it was very much, what can I do to change this? So I started a chocolate business, as you do. I created a handmade chocolate business, which was lovely. But I realized 8 years later, when I'd started my mindset journey and was seeing results, I was more interested in trying to spread the word of how to run business using my business strategy, working with senior management directors of large multinational global organizations, and using it for the people that really deserved to have success. And I was like, I just wanted to help everybody. So I became a coach, and during COVID, I wasn't going to be a coach online. No way was I going to do online coaching. I wanted to do in person. And then COVID hit. So I came online, and I have not looked back. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Even when I'm feeling at my worst, I go on a coaching call and I feel amazing. I love helping people, and that's why I'm here today, to help you. So what have I put on here? Yeah, boring. I said about 2022 was when I really, basically, Christmas 21, beginning of 22, my life imploded. And I really became quite stuck. And I'd done the mindset work, and I was at my wit's end to know what to do next. I'll be honest, I'm not very good at doing mindset on myself. I'm much better doing it on other people. I liken it to being like a builder. You're very good, the builder always has the worst house in the street because he's so busy doing other people's. And I was really stuck, and I was plateauing. And I decided to explore a new version or a new concept that I'd not really explored, and that for me was shadow work. And it sounded really scary, but I was there. I needed something, and I'd been through absolute hell. To give you an idea, the person that raised me turned on me, and my life became really uncomfortable, and she still makes it uncomfortable for me, unfortunately. But since then, partly because of shadow work and a lot of other stuff, some amazing people around me, including my clients, some of you here, helped me to deal with that. But it was the shadow work that really helped me put it in context. And I can even remember the day that I had the breakthrough. It was my husband's birthday, and we were walking along the Thames in Pangbourne, just outside of Reading. And I was, as I do, I was talking about this because I get really into the concepts, and I was telling him all about it, and we were having this discussion, and oh my gosh, all of a sudden it came to me, the concept of drama, and how my shadow loved a bit of drama, and how I was drawn to drama, but it meant that I wasn't getting on with what I needed to do. And I created drama. I created drama around not having enough money. you know, or I created not having enough money to create a drama, because then I could deal with it, and I would be seen as the hero of the hour as such. And so we decided on that day to actually turn around to each other and go, drama, whenever we came across that concept that we were getting pulled into it. And actually, I don't think we said it recently, but it was a really good way of pulling ourselves out of it. I can see someone's asked a question. Let me see if I can. It says show chat previews, but I can't actually see what the chat's saying, so apologies. Let's see if I can get more people on here. Just if you want to come off speaker, if someone has got a question, then do let me know. All right, feel free to interrupt. Okay.
That was probably my comment, Sam.
Oh, okay.
It was just to say that Buddy was laid right beside me when you was talking about your fur baby, so he must think you're going to be trouble today.
The story with Jane and I is we've worked together for quite a while now, and her dog always used to sit next to her, because some of the stuff we do, and I'm going to talk about being confronting, some of the stuff we do, we dig deep, but it's needed to deal with that sort of thing. So Buddy used to look after her, and yeah, Bodie's next. Well, I shouldn't say his name. He's next to me. Okay, so shadow work. What exactly is shadow work? It's about exploring the parts of ourselves that we've actually repressed or denied. And there's many reasons that we might do that. I repress the concept of creativity because that's what I was told. It might be societal expectations. You know, I often wonder if we addressed our shadow a bit more, would we be triggered as parents, you know, about being that good mum? I had a meeting with school not long ago, and we were talking things through, and the SEN teacher actually turned around to me and went, I think you're the most real person I've ever met. And it's because I don't get, I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't get as triggered. I am, you know, this is what I know, my good and my bad, my, you know, my shadow and my light, and I'm able to work with that. And I think, you know, we as mums particularly, you know, we feel we've let down our kids if we do something. We had a discussion at the table last night, and there's a bit of a hoo-ha about what date my daughter finishes her school, because she's got no timetable on Wednesday, but we believe she's due in on Wednesday, and she's saying no, she finishes Tuesday. And I said, well, it's not the first time you've gone into school when it's not been a proper school day. And she went, I know, you're great parents, you are, you can't even keep track of that. And it's like, yeah, that's me, you know, and accepting that I've done it. I've sent them in the wrong uniform, I've sent them in non-uniform and uniform on the wrong days, but it's a rite of passage, isn't it, that we do these things. And it's about like not putting those expectations on ourselves to be perfect. I love the video, and I posted it in one of my groups the other day, and I might post it in the group, the Female Business Owner Mastermind, because it's about, like, you know, don't look too sexy, but wear high heels. Don't lower your neckline, but don't be too, you know, don't act like a slut. There's so many contradictory things put on us by society, and we grow up with this, you know, even our parents. Okay, my parents aren't the best examples of that, and I'm probably not either. But, you know, I will do everything that I think is in my child's best interest, but I might say the wrong thing, or I might say something that's interpreted wrong, and that my kids might then have a subject, you know. Oh, I can tell you an example of this. My husband's birthday was a special birthday, and I told him, my son was like, oh, he's old. And I was like, no, we celebrate, you know, getting older, because obviously I lost my aunt young. And I'm like, you celebrate birthdays, have birthdays. We all want to get old. It's great. And he sat in the hot tub that evening of my husband's birthday, telling him how grateful he is that he's lived to this age. So, you know, you can't always get it right when you say these things. And that's what our parents or the people that influence, teachers or whatever, we have these expectations. It might be that we have a visibility challenge because one time we put a hand up and someone laughed at our answer. We've repressed that side of us to be open. And so the shadow is about working through that. And again, I've gone off piste again. But the concept of the shadow comes from Carl Jung. And he described it as the dark side of the personality. And it's about the hidden fears, desires, and instincts. But for me, I don't want you to think of it as a dark side, actually. Think about it as the relief. You know, when you're really hot in the sun, you go to the shade, don't you? You want the shade to enjoy the sunshine. So it's about having both of those. If you have the sunshine, you have to have shade somewhere. You provide a shadow somewhere. So it's about welcoming that into you. And for me, you know, one of the biggest realizations, and it is quite simplistic, and this is not a definition of shadow work in the slightest, but it's often that we don't manifest, or we manifest something different to what we actually consciously want because our shadow is looking for something different. I love the book The Existential Kink. No, I haven't got it here. It's about, like, it was a bit kinky. So, you know, I like drama, not because I wanted to get involved in drama, but because I could be the hero in it. And so when I might have wanted money, one of the things I'd do was create a drama. And that would be a lack of money, because lack of money creates a drama. How are you going to pay for something? How are you going to do this if you haven't got money? That created a drama. So my shadow was manifesting a lack of money because it wanted a drama. So if we look at it in a sense of, okay, so I wanted this, I got this. What is it that I secretly wanted about this? And you know, the existential kink looks at it in the sense of, you know, I'm being kinky. What do I like about it? What was turning me on about the bad stuff? Because let's face it, it's fun being bad occasionally, isn't it? So it's that sort of concept that I want you to think about. Okay. Make sure I'm on track. Right. Why do we have a shadow? And I've kind of covered this already. And it's about the fact that we have behaviors and traits that we learn, some are acceptable, some aren't. So, you know, you don't like showing, you know, you might be that you struggle with visibility because it feels like you're showing off. And it might have been that, you know, you loved to sing and dance as a kid, but you're always told to sit down, stop showing off. What you then interpreted it that it wasn't acceptable to be flamboyant, so you sheltered yourself in that way. And it's traits that we deem unacceptable, that are pushed into our unconscious mind. So it's not necessarily the truth, right? I don't want you to think that it's negative stuff. It's what our young selves perceived as negative. So it might be, from my perspective, I traveled a lot. I've said my parents were cabin crew. They worked for British Airways, so I traveled a lot. My dad took me away on trips all the time. I've been so many places. I am so incredibly lucky. I had such a brilliant education doing that with my dad. He was great doing it, and I'm incredibly grateful to him for it. But I was told as a child that people would get jealous, and so not to tell them about it. And I honestly don't honestly believed that people weren't interested in what I had to say. So it took me a lot. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to come onto social media and do things. I never used Facebook before I did coaching. I only did it because I wanted to coach. And it was that kind of perception that I had to stay, to the extent that I moved from the Midlands down to Reading, and I didn't tell some of my good friends because I didn't think they'd be interested. And I say that now, and I think that is so bizarre. But I did it. I honestly didn't tell them. So it's about kind of bringing these things into the light so that we can fully understand ourselves. And it is about being more authentic, being more empowered. Jane, it's that conversation this morning, isn't it? It's about saying that, you know, I can take these decisions. I have permission to do what I want to do. I'm not going to be an evil murderer, but I am going to say to someone, no, I don't want to do that because it doesn't suit me. You know, if you want to be flamboyant, why can't you? You know, do it. It's about stepping into who you truly are. So what I've put here, this repression isn't, as I've said, positive traits like creativity, assertiveness. Oh gosh, how many times have you been told don't be so aggressive? I know I was always told I was argumentative, and it's like, no. I actually did mediation as a job for no, I know how to ask the right questions. It's just you don't like the questions I'm asking. And so this is where you suddenly realize that actually it's not aggressive, it's not you know, argumentative, it's assertive. It's about validating yourself and stepping up to advocate for yourself as well. The importance of shadow work as well is about, I've put here, by engaging in shadow work, we bring the hidden parts of ourselves to the light. It is about welcoming them, accepting them. Some of them you might not feel comfortable, but when you know about them, you can deal with them. It's a bit like, I don't want to use this analogy, but I can't think of anything else. You know, cancer. As much as I didn't want my aunt to have cancer, when she was diagnosed, they treated her, you know, and actually she lived for 23 years after her first diagnosis. So thank God we, you know, when we know about it, we can work with it. But if she hadn't have had that diagnosis, then we would have lost her a lot younger, 23 years younger. So yeah, it's really important to do. That's not the nicest of analogies, sorry, but I couldn't think of anything better. But it is about acceptance and knowing that actually our core is good and that we are beautiful people, and it's never going to be black and white. No one's perfect, and it's about accepting our flaws and loving them as well. You know, those little stretch marks, we'll think of it like that. It's those kind of things, and I still don't like the stretch marks, so I don't know why I said that. Okay, why shadow work is crucial. For me, it is, but you need to be in the right place for it. And that's one of the things that I want to make clear on this, is that I want to create an awareness around shadow work. I'm going to tell you about how you can take it forward if you are in the right place. All right. So if you want to chat about it, then let me know, because shadow work is confronting and I will be there to support you. But you need to feel that you can do it as well. It's that situation where, you know, when you have a good cry and you feel better afterwards, but you don't actually want to cry in the first place. It's that kind of concept that you've got to, if you want to progress, at some point you're going to have to do this. Okay, this is what you need to do to progress, but you've got to be ready to want that progression. If you're not ready to do what it takes weeks, then it's not the right time for you. I almost need you to be really frustrated, and you're damn well going to do it, because that's what it needs for this. And I know that might be, I get told off by my coach for saying stuff like that, because it's like, you know, you should be encouraging people, but I want this to be right for you, not just something I sell. That's not how I work. For those that don't know me, I will never push you into anything unless I damn well know that you can do it. And I will only push you when I know I can push you. There are a few people on here that I have pushed and gone, you will do it. But I only do that when I definitely know. And if it's not right for you, then talk to me, because I will be able to guide you in what you can do to get to this point. Okay. So that's where I can help. Okay. So shadow work enhances self-awareness. We've just talked about that. You know, this is about understanding and accepting all of you. The other thing is, it gives you a huge amount of emotional intelligence, which in itself helps with your intuition. Because think about, you know, your gut feeling. This is about feeling into things. And I think this is the real difference that it's made for me in particular. You know, I'd done the self-sabotaging, and I kind of dealt with some of it. I've done lots of self-sabotaging. I've done the limiting beliefs. But the emotional intelligence allowed me to really make that step, that I could trust my instincts, that I could feel into things, and I didn't rely on other people to give me that guidance. I don't need to go out to lots of people to go, what do you think? There will be times I choose one, maybe two people at a time to go out and say, can I just soundboard this with you? But the majority of the time, I'm making those decisions and I am taking that action. And I'm not relying on someone else to help me. When I first started my business, I'd almost need my husband to coach me, to give me that motivation, that push forward. But now that's all me, because I know who I am. I with want of a better way of saying it, I do feel completely whole. I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm not so good at, I know how to leverage certain things. Don't always do it, but I know how to deal with a lot of this stuff. It breaks through the self-sabotage and limiting beliefs. So biggest self-sabotage for me that this cured was the drama, right? Because I would see a drama, I'd get involved in it, and it would stop me doing my work. Or I created the drama that I wasn't getting any work. So this was a big thing for the self-sabotage for me. Limiting beliefs, I'd worked through quite a lot of those, with regards to a lot of kind of general beliefs of, you know, they're not good enough. But I couldn't work out why I didn't want to be visible. That took me a while to kind of bash through, and it was a mixture of the mindset and the shadow work that really helped me on that. Improved decision making comes with the emotional intelligence, being able to trust yourself and move forward. And you know, when you are in yourself confident, it means that you can create more innovative solutions to what you're doing as well. And the relationships around you are a lot better. One of the challenges I had growing up was as a people pleaser, I was always trying to second guess what other people wanted to try and make them happy. And I often failed. And that would leave me like desolate. And then like the people would be like, what's going on? Whereas now, you know, if someone asks me, I will give my opinion of what I want. And if I don't want to do it, I will say I don't want to do it. And if I want to do it and they don't, it would be like, okay, how much do I want them to come with me? And that sort of thing. It helps me be clear to other people, to, you know, my husband doesn't have to second guess what, you know, that classic argument. I don't know whether anybody else had this, but with my husband, it's like, why are you upset? And I go, don't you know what you've done? No. This is me going, don't you know? And he go, no, what have I done? Oh, you should know. And it's like, we think that, you know, other people are mind readers, because they can feel and see what we're doing. No one is walking in your shoes. Ability to communicate what you need, you know, asking for your needs to be met, it will help you enormously in relationships. And that's inside and outside of your business. You know, if you've got long-term plans to grow a team, you know, relationships with your team, being honest with your team, you know, not you to grow a good team. I know this from an HR perspective, you need different types of people. They're not always going to agree, and it's about dealing with how that works and having the emotional intelligence, the empathy, the ability to create that cohesion in those relationships as well. Okay. Yeah, my example was the drama. I've put here as well, shadow work helps us identify like destructive behaviors as well. And I guess that's kind of the drama as well for me, because that was destructive, because I created that as well. And it's driven by the unconscious shadows. So when we see them, we can deal with them, as I said before. I've also put the example here of not celebrating success. Now, I see that a lot in my clients. Oh, we've got someone else wanting to come in. I see this a lot in my clients about not being able to celebrate, or not feeling comfortable to celebrate. And, you know, this is particularly around the divine masculine energy that we have in this world, where it's action, 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 rather than being able to reflect and see what works and what doesn't. And it might be that your repressed shadow is making you feel like you can't show off, or that other people will get jealous, because that is what you've been, you know, society tells you, doesn't it? I mean, Australia has the concept of the tall poppy syndrome. We in the UK, we have the tabloids that build people up and then knock them down. In fact, I'm going to Flack Fest next week, 2 weeks time. My daughter got given tickets from her school for being so brilliant. Show off, mum. And we're going to that, and that's Caroline Flack. You know, she committed suicide because the tabloids were so vile to her. And this festival is all about kindness and cohesion, and it's that side of things, you know, that we represses that characteristic in us. But I tell you what, I can't think of anything better than seeing someone else be successful. I find that so inspiring. So why do we have to pull people down? It's so important that we do this, but your shadow might be telling you that you know, it's wrong to celebrate because you're showing off or whatever. But it's not. It's wonderful to say, you know, look what I've achieved, and other people can share in that success. I've talked about decision making, enhancing creativity, and I've talked about relationships. So, myths and misconceptions. Okay. I've heard before shadow work is all about limiting beliefs, and there is an element of limiting beliefs, but it goes far beyond that. It's more around, for me, it's got a more of a depth to it, in the fact that it's not just like I have this experience, so therefore. It's more about characteristics and traits than it is about actions. So it's far beyond limiting beliefs. It does play a part in limiting beliefs and recognizing them and transforming them for personal growth. But it is far beyond those. The next one is shadow work versus inner work. Shadow work is a particular type of inner work. So mindset is part of that as well. Shadow work will be, it's less to do with kind of wounds and healing as inner work can be, like the inner child side of things. But shadow work, and like forgiveness and things like that, so is more kind of your inner work and mindset. The shadow work is really about confronting yourself, your true self, and really finding out who you are, and finding out that authenticity without judgment or prejudice is probably the best way of putting it. So it is a type of inner work, and it works really well with other inner work. I think I've done it all. I love this stuff so much that I've done it all. So yeah, it all kind of feeds in. You don't need to do one before the other. In fact, all of it, I feel, should be kind of interwoven into your life. And that's one of the things that I've done in the course that I'm going to talk to you about, is that I want you to start creating some daily habits around understanding yourself and taking your time. I mean, just in the I meant to ask some questions actually but obviously I can't see the chat. But you know, some of the things that I was thinking about when I was looking at doing this was, how often do we sit and think about how we feel? You know, we're always busy. There's always something to do. Most of us don't even get like a chance to have a cup of tea in peace without like a dog biting you or a kid asking for a snack. But actually sitting there and asking yourself, how do you feel? What's going on for you right now? You know, I asked the question about, you know, triggers and things like that. We kind of feel triggered and we run away from it. And what we need to do is go, I feel triggered. And that's one of the things I meant to say, actually. If you do feel triggered, then let me know, because we'll work through it with you. Triggers are a good thing because they show us where the work needs to be. But if you know, we'd naturally run away. If someone makes you feel uncomfortable, you kind of go, I'm going to avoid that person, which is perfectly fine. But why? What is it that makes you feel uncomfortable? Because often we project onto other people. So look at that. What is it that they're making you feel uncomfortable about? Last year or the year before, we have a 6-week cricket training for my son, and it's very nice. We all sit there at the bar and have our drinks on a Friday night. There's barbecue, kids go off and play cricket, and we sit and have a good old natter. The village gets together. And we had someone complain about the fact that parents were drinking with kids, and there were a lot of people triggered. And it was like, no, because it's more about that person that made the complaint than it is about me. I know I'm comfortable. Yes, I have a drink, but I'm not inebriated. So I know I'm not being a bad mum. But people were triggered, and obviously that person was triggered. And it's like, so why? What is it that is triggering you? What is the trait? What is the characteristic that's really making you feel uncomfortable? Sitting with that, it's not comfortable, but boy, can it give you so much information. One of my clients, Katie, is amazing at this stuff. She is, because she's a mindfulness teacher, but she is so good at sitting with her emotions and really listening to what they are telling her. And as a result, her business is absolutely, well, she quadrupled her income. So she is doing amazingly well. And it's that sort of work that really does help you. Okay, shadow work is only for those with deep trauma. I've heard that before, and I would actually say the opposite, almost true. You know, it's not, it's trauma with a small t, right? So if you've had you know, trauma where you know, someone's bullied you, you've not had a nice experience, you know, if you've got deep trauma, then the first port of call is therapy. I've had therapy. There's no shame in it. It's bloody brilliant. You know, and that's where you need to go. Shadow work is not for that. It is for moving past some of the hidden traits that's stopping you. If you are sat there frustrated, you feel like you've tried everything and you are not getting what you want to get, then you need to work on your shadow. There is no two ways about it. I know, because that was me, right? And unless you really accept your shadow, that is always going to be what stops you. Okay. I feel like I'm talking to myself here. I can see some chats. So if anybody has questions, please interrupt me. Hello? Nope. Okay. Shadow work isn't all about negativity either, as I've mentioned a few times. It does confront, it kind of focuses on a lot of traits of anger, jealousy, shame, guilt, that sort of thing. But it's, you know, and it can, when I say about trauma as well, it can be guilt about, you know, not ringing my father enough, or, you know, not doing something. It can be a small thing that really isn't a big situation that can, you know, can easily be resolved, but for some reason we hold on to this because we like to feel that negativity. There's something comforting sometimes in guilt and shame, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's about understanding why you feel that way. But negativity, shadow work isn't about negative stuff. It's not scary. It's confronting but enlightening is how I would describe it. So yeah, it's one of the challenges I have with what I do is that it's so hard to kind of give you that concept until you feel it, because it is totally about that power that you have within inside you that you can do. Okay. Oh God, I did have a lot of notes for that. Full page. Oh, and another page. Deep trauma, no, it's not. Lastly, misconception, negativity. Well, it does. Yeah, I've done that bit. Okay. Oh, we're getting short of time, aren't we? So, yeah, I've talked about these actually, so I'll skip through this. But so it can be, you know, jealousy, anger, fear, shame, self-doubt, all of that sort of stuff. But it can be like creativity. It can be about, for me, the drama, I changed it into the nurturing. The fact that, you know, the reason I created a drama was because I could be the hero of the hour. That's when I got attention. And that's what my shadow always wanted. So by, now I'm an introvert, so that took some time to actually kind of balance in my head that I liked attention, but I needed the introvert quiet. And so it was about balancing how that worked together to be able to create the positive side of things as well. But remember, with a lot of things, there's always the good and the bad. And I use this analogy a lot, that, you know, traffic lights, when you're in a rush, can be bloody frustrating. You can get angry at the traffic lights for turning red, or you can say, okay, yep, I need to breathe. I will need to get there in one piece. It's the same situation. It's just how you choose to decide to act on it. And it's the same with this, that we can change these things into the positives. And, you know, a trait might not be deemed as positive in your head, but we can make it positive. And when you nurture that positivity, that's what it becomes. That's the reality you manifest. Okay. Oh, I've got a lot of notes on those actually. Okay. Right. We are going to do a quick visualization to see if we can pull out some shadow traits for you. So what I want you to do is just find somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed. You can turn off your cameras, that's fine. I will want a bit of a check-in with you. And I would like you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And then let it go slowly. And as we take another deep breath in, when you reach the top, and as you let go, I want you to relax all the muscles in your body. Feel your body relax. Last breath in. And then again, relax a little bit more. Melt into that chair or that whatever you're sitting on. Okay. As you close your eyes, I want you to imagine yourself in a safe and peaceful place. Somewhere where you feel completely at ease and supported. Might be somewhere you know. It might be a new place. It doesn't matter where it is. I just want you to feel safe and supported. Okay, final breath in. Breathe in a sense of safety. Let it fill you up. And then let it go. Okay. I want you to think about a recent situation where you've had a strong emotional reaction. Could be anger, jealousy, fear, or even sadness. Okay. I want you to fully recall this moment. It might not be comfortable. That's okay, because you're safe. I want you to think about what triggered the reaction. What created the emotion you felt, or the emotions, because very rarely is it one emotion. Okay. It might be about who was involved. It might be what was said or done. Remember, it doesn't matter what it is. This is just for you. Okay. And I want you to take a moment to write down this situation briefly. But I want you to, rather than the situation, focus on the emotions. So list the emotions and what triggered them. Okay. Next, I want you to ask yourself, why did you react this way? What do you think the reaction says about you? Is there a hidden fear, desire, or a belief that drove that response? No, this is just for you. You can burn it afterwards, so no one ever has to see it. Don't censor yourself. Let your thoughts flow freely here. And just think about what shadow traits might be revealed through this reaction. Fear of failure. Maybe a need for approval. Not good enough. Or is it something else? Make sure you're taking deep breaths as well while you're doing this. Calm that parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. Now I want you to take a moment to acknowledge the shadow traits that have come out. Accept that it's part of you and that it's seeking attention and understanding. I want you to write a short note to yourself, acknowledging the trait and expressing a willingness to understand and integrate it. I like to think of it as our friend. Okay, if anybody feels that they're comfortable to share, then please do in the chat. It's not an easy task to do that, and it can be confronting. You know, it might have felt uncomfortable, but believe me, when you release it, it makes you feel so much better. And that's the next part, is the emotional release and integration. So it's about releasing the pent-up emotions. You know, go and hit the pillow, or I love a good old scream occasionally, but I tend to go into the woods for that. we've got a wolf sanctuary nearby, which is quite useful to do. People think it's the wolves. But yeah, I mean, just get that emotion out of you. There's a great book again by Gay Hendricks, which is Learn to Love Yourself, and he talks about, you know, doing a dance and just freely moving to release the pent-up emotions. I love that. I can do that now after my operation. And you know, and then integration, about accepting and embracing all aspects of yourself. You know, if your child or someone you loved, you know, let's face it, our partners are not perfect. There's, you know, there's a lot we love about them, but there's a lot that we probably want to just change a little bit, but we love them, right? I want you to think of that as yourself, right? There are parts of you that are, yeah, they're bloody annoying. And if you ask your other half, they'll probably really tell you about them. I know my husband would. No, actually, my husband would go, you really want to know? But you know, no one's perfect. Everybody has these traits. So, but by accepting them, you are going to be more powerful than the average person in what you're doing, because you'll be able to work with these traits and use them as strengths, no longer stopping you. I'm saying it can be. It is such a powerful. It's not can about it. When you create the awareness around your shadow self and you embrace it, integrate it into what you do, you become an incredibly powerful person. And you know, you are far beyond the average, just purely because most people cannot face dealing with the negatives, right? They live in this world where they think that they're all right. And you know, how often do people kind of go through life, work their backsides off, and then get to retirement and keel over? Like, life is for enjoying. Know all about yourself and live life to the full if you can. That's certainly my philosophy. And I, you know, for me, it is so important to do this. So how you can do it, I've talked about releasing. There's also forgiveness and other ways of doing it. Breath work is beautiful for helping stored emotions. Movement, like I said, you know, yoga, dance, even a brisk walk. Art, writing, music, fantastic. Then you can integrate, you know, by self-compassionate acceptance practices, you know, listening to your thoughts, asking how you are. You know, every night my kids come home and, how was school? What did you get up today? You know, and I ask them how they are. How did you sleep last night? How are you? My husband asked me, how did I sleep, you know, last night? Sleeps next to me. But you know, you know, how are you? But how often do we do that for ourselves? It's about time we did that. Then there's also about redefining the negatives into strengths, you know, turning them into positivity, because they can be. There's, you know, even when we get angry, we're getting angry for a reason. We're passionate about something. You change that word from anger to passion, how different does that sound, right? And there's a reason for it. I get angry at the likes of people that are misogynistic or you know, power hungry, the people that go into politics because they want the money and the power. I get angry because that's not what I like. And there's a reason for that. It's not a negative. It's because I have a deep sense of everybody should be helping each other, and this world would be a better place if we stopped being so individualistic. Get off my soapbox now. Balancing the shadow traits as well, you know, the self-image, that it includes all parts of you. You know, it's that self-acceptance and loving yourself unconditionally, just as you would your children and your partner or your children. So let me have a look at the chat. What's everybody saying? What's your biggest challenge when it comes to your business right now? That's what I would really love to know as well. Tell me what. I attract so much drama. Oh, I'm the same. Well, I used to be the same, not so much. So let's see, jump to the latest. Oh, Klingons, people who get clingy, run. Yes, absolutely. It is, isn't it? You start to see what the challenges are. So in your business now, what are you struggling with at the moment? Is it visibility? Is it confidence? Is it understanding what you need to do, clarity? Tell me a bit about what your challenges are, and then I'm going to talk through something now as well. I've just got a few more slides to go through, but what are your challenges? No one wants to speak up. All right, I won't put you on the spot. I'll go on to the next slide, but let me know what your challenges are, because I can start to identify what actions you could work on to do that. So let's go back to that. Okay. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. And this is a 5-week transformational program that I've created. It's brand new. So I am looking for people to give me feedback on it and go through it. It is a self-guided course, but the difference being that it's not self-study. So you go at your own time, like in a self-study, but you get the support from me through my Facebook group, which is exclusive for clients only. So it's like the best of both worlds with the hybrid side of things. So the course is structured into weekly modules, which allows you to work at your own pace. And you'll dive into each aspect of shadow work to build on your understanding and integration of the subject. But you'll be supported by me and the others. There's a few people already in the inner circle at the moment, and you'll get the support there. Plus, I do Q&As in there, so when things come up for you, you can ask questions. I will be doing a live round of this at some point. I haven't diaried it in at the moment. My diary is quite full with the things that I've committed to so far, so we'll see what happens there. But the reason I'm launching it now is it's perfect over the summer holidays for those of you that have got kids at home and stuff. This is the time that you can do this work, because it's so much more about reflection and understanding. It's when we step away from our work, and I'm sure most of you are like me, you still work through, but you kind of step back a little bit. It's that point that we can reflect a bit further on it. This is why I've launched it right now, so that you can do that. Because I think also when we spend more time with our loved ones, we start to see, I don't know about you, but like there'll be times where I get grumpy with my kids, and I don't want to be grumpy. But it's about you get those lessons at that point. What triggered me there? What do I need to know? What do I need to think about this situation? I had one not long ago when we were at the dinner table, and my daughter said something, and I said something horrible in response. And she said she needed the toilet, and I thought, I've not said nice things there. And I reflected and went and spoke to her, and I apologized profusely, and she was brilliant with it. She's only 12, so bless her. To have her mum say something horrible was not nice. And I reflected where that had come from, and it was jealousy. And I was jealous of my own daughter, and that really, I struggled with that for a bit. But it was sitting down and reflecting on why, and understanding what it was. And ironically, it was jealousy, because I didn't have a good mother, and so I became that bad mother to her. And it's that shadow that came out of me that then I could deal with going forward. That's got me a bit emotional, sorry. So what am I doing? Integrating shadow work into your business strategy as well. So it is business focused, so you can really revolutionize what you do. Understanding and embracing your shadow so that you get better decision making, boost creativity, and develop that authentic leadership quality that, even if you haven't got a team, I know my leadership training really came in into play right from the start of my business, because it was about leading my clients and about showing them that I could help them, and being the leader that they needed on the mindset journey that I did with them. So it's really important that no matter what you do, whether it be a product or not, having done products as well, I needed to be that leader in chocolate. When I was a chocolatier, you know, it's really important that we have those qualities. Now, as I say, this is a brand new course, so these are not testimonials from the course, but I just wanted to raise a couple of them just to tell you that, kind of give you that reassurance that I'm not a fly-by-night. I am there for you. Hannah, bless her, well, both Hannah and Sally, we had quite an emotional coaching session with last week. They were saying that they've gone through, Hannah said she's gone through a journey. She's been heard by me, and that really helped unfurl her wings. That's a shadow trait, not feeling heard. She feels like she's ready to fly. I did argue with her at that point and say she was already flying. I just wanted her to soar higher. And she's so ready to do what she needs to do. And Sally, the same, feels, I mean, she's, oh gosh, the difference with that woman that I like from when I first met her. Jane's nodding away. Seriously, I think she's probably got the prize for the biggest transformation. Oh my goodness. I remember the first time she signed up to something, and she rang me the next day and said, I think I can't do it. I can't do it. I need a refund. And now she's going, I am so powerful. She feels totally different now. And she says it's not easy. It was confronting, but she dealt with it and she feels fantastic now. And she said there's loads of stuff going on. And you know, I will be honest with you, I still have loads of drama happening around me. I just don't get involved in it anymore. And so I lead a more peaceful life. And it means that I can show up in my business as the person my clients need. And it's the same for Sally. She's oh, I need to do an interview with her. She's phenomenal with what she's done. And as she says, there's still loads going on, but she's not being dragged down into it. She's stopped letting the fear stop her, which is the best thing I've ever heard. I do have lots more testimonials on my website if you want to check them out. There's some videos and things like that. Katie's on there that I mentioned earlier. Jane and Annetta are both featured. So you can see what they have to say as well. So if you are ready to work with your shadow, to unlock your shadow, to welcome your shadow, to love your shadow in your business and life, then I have a very special bonus for you. This course will be on my website. I was going to try and do it before I got on this call, but I didn't. It will be on my website in the next day or so, and it will be going up there for £397. However, for the first 10 people, I would really, really value your feedback. And so I'm offering it for just £97. Okay. You do need a code, and I meant to put this on the slides, and it's Where's the Sunshine? I think I will put it on as a link, but it's something like Where's the Sun? Because I was feeling in that kind of mood. It's like you need the sun for shadows, and we've got no blooming sun at the moment in the UK, so that's the reason I made a joke of that. So yeah, if you would like to do this 5-week course, then you can do it now for just £97. That's £300 off. Right, so I mean, it's phenomenal value. 5 weeks. There's loads of videos in there that I've put in there. There's tapping, there's meditations, there's I put some journaling prompts into the workbook if you've not downloaded it already. But I have put a lot more journaling prompts into the course as well, so that you can create a daily habit while you're on the 5-week course. And as I say, it's the perfect time over the summer. We spend more time with our families, and believe me, they bring out the shadows. They are the people that really show us. They hold a mirror up to us, and sometimes we don't want to look, but they really do show us what we need to see. So it is the perfect time to do it. I will be around if you need help. If you do want more support than just being in the Facebook group, then you can also add on a Voxer month with me. Voxer is a bit like DMs, but it's a separate app purely because I get so many DMs every day. It means that I can focus on people in Voxer. I put my clients on there, and it's like you can do all the other stuff, add things, files, so I can look at things for you and I can check them over. And a month of that is £97 as well. So what is it, £194? You'd get almost one-to-one coaching, 5-week course of shadow work. What could you achieve? You know, for me, I don't know about you guys, but September is my new year, right? I almost have more energy in September than I do in January. And I am ready. I've got some things already planned. I can't wait to tell you about them. But like, so this would get you ready and raring to go. And September, you'd be absolutely flying. Right. Debbie, I don't know whether you're around. You can pop the link in the chat. I can't see if you have done that, but Debbie was going to pop the link in the chat. You will see it on there for $397. Okay. You need the code. That will give it to you for £97. Okay, but there's only 10 of those. It will only, that code will only be used 10 times. Okay, as always, I fitted loads in there and went way over time. So tell me, what questions have you got? What can I do to help you? Any questions from anything that I've said so far? Oh, Leanne said self-doubt. She's not on here anymore, but Leanne, you're brilliant. I love you. We're going to get rid of that self-doubt. Thanks, Debbie. Sarah, sign me up. Okay, well, you've got the link. So get on there and grab one of those £97 versions. Has anybody else got any other questions? No? Okay, well, that was easy. You know where I am if you need to ask any questions, though. I will be on DMs for the next half an hour before I go and collect my son. So if you need me, after that, I am taking the afternoon off. Wednesdays, my husband now cooks for us. It's not my bedtime duty, so I am going to sit with my shadow, because whenever I do this stuff, I get downloads as well. So I'm actually going to go, and I've got some nice bubble bath. I haven't been able to have a bubble bath since I had my operation, and I love my bubble baths. So I'm going to go and have a lovely, luxurious bubble bath this afternoon. So I won't be on DMs after 3 o'clock, but I will be back tomorrow. So if you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch. All right. All right. Mwah. Love you all. Take care. Bye.